And
We are replenished.
live.
Ooh. Johnny, where's my Hercules potion?
It's on its way. That MK and more TB
Ooh.
500 for you.
Ooh.
That's
got a lot
right.
of
Got to make you
questions about
feel
the
good,
Hercules.
man. Make sure you're in top quality shape. Go through this blitz. Get ready for the first of the year. I mean,
All right. Well, let me first introduce everybody to the face and mind behind the Titan crew over here. This young cat over here, the Surge,
Ooh.
aka Bradley Martin lookalike 2.0, and our youth of today. I wanted to bring in a couple different age groups today to kind of get a better look on all aspects. I'm going to play the extremely old guy from back in the day. Johnny is a young, handsome 40-year-old. Jeffrey's our 30, and Serge is our mentally 12-year-old. All right, 20. We'll go 25.
are you 25, Serge?
Yes. Close
Awesome.
enough.
Awesome. Love it, man. Love it.
So Serge over here is a head trainer over and a beast of a trainer over at Gold's Gym Venice. And Bartley skipped out on us. Man, I'm still hurting about this.
Bartley skip?
Bartley came through for some stuff we're going to still post, but I didn't get a chance to eat with this guy. Right now, if you guys are looking at the screen, the question right there and in the house is IFBB Pro,
Yep.
I guess classic bodybuilder,
Mhm.
even though he's bigger than the
Monster.
pro bodybuilders, and world champion eater. What would you call them? What's the terminology?
And
Competitive eater.
competitive eater.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next time I come out to Florida, I know that John and I and
Oh, yeah.
he will team up.
Oh, yeah. So Bartley was actually just in here earlier, about an hour or so ago. I gave him a tour of the facility, got to check it out,
Oh, wow.
talked about how we're going to go forth and stuff like that. So really excited about that. Bartley is number 7 in the world, is eating professionally. And obviously an IBB Pro. He was also Derek Lunsford's training partner for this Olympia. So I told him his rates have definitely went up. Value has definitely gone up in that bank. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to come down next time because we're going to document. He's, I guess, in the World Series or Super Bowl of the World Eating thing, and it's a Nathan's competition. And I guess one person from every country comes there, the best of the best, and they have it out and they duke it out. And who's going to eat the most hot dogs? So he's going through training, I guess, for that. So we're going to document all this too. I told him, I said, this is great.
This is great. I'm glad I got to make that connection over the week.
Thank you, Mike.
He's a good cat. Again, we're talking about the guy here, Bartley, that's on the feed right now. He was down at Titan Medical. John, can I get his cycle or whatever he's doing? Because he's a monster of a human, and I want to be that size.
Okay. We're going to do some blood work on him next week, so we'll see where he stands, and we'll see what we're going to do here going forward. Definitely,
love that.
For him, as a professional eater, because this is a little bit different for me. Usually we want to look at hormones, all that. But as a professional eater and what he's going to be eating to train, right, the cholesterol is going to be a big factor. Because if he's eating a whole bunch of hot dogs, how is that really going to affect his cholesterol?
I'm curious.
Me too. I was so excited when he says,
I'm going to put money on this right now. What do you think?
I think his cholesterol will be all right. I mean, I don't know.
I
think
think
it will.
you can't go that route. I'm going to say he's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to say because I think it goes back to that George Burns statement. Stay with me, everybody. Everybody is different, and there can be people out there that unfortunately can smoke and drink, and they'll live to 110 like George Burns.
True.
And then there's people that can run marathons,
Yep.
and they die of a heart attack at 38.
Yep.
Life ain't fair, and everybody's set up different. And I think Bartley is one of these guys that can eat like that and has no health issues. And I do not recommend anybody else to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think his blood work is going to come back pretty darn spanking good.
He's
but you can
different.
still optimize him by using peptides to make him
Sure.
even hungrier.
Absolutely. Wow. You know what, Bartley? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, right?
Smart man,
'Cause
Mike.
We've talked about this.
That's good.
We talked
You're right.
about
I mean, that could definitely help.
Ibutamoren, if I'm correct, makes you hungry.
Absolutely. Stimulates the hunger hormone, G-Relin.
I'm on fire today. I got to tell you
You
guys.
are.
I
You're
feel
right there.
good right now. So so Bartley helped Derek win the Mr. Olympia. If Bartley wins the eating, it's because of me.
That's right. If he goes up from, he said he got 5th last year. So if he got places any higher this year, especially 3rd, 2nd, or maybe even 1st, you got to get some shout out to Michael Hearn, Bartley, for sure, because he just made a great recommendation. That's a smart move for sure. I would anxious to see that. I mean, it would probably definitely give him an edge. I mean, because literally, man, I mean, it's like you have an empty stomach. I mean, even if you ate a buffet beforehand, you take it 15 minutes later, you want to eat down the house. So I definitely think that would be a good one for sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think for anybody out there right now that is, especially that young Michael Hearn, wanted to eat a lot so I could put on that size and muscle. And I think that's something I skip out a lot now because maybe it's an age thing. And I'm like, hey, let's get – and I got to go back to the roots of a lot of people here want to build that muscle and get that size. And so this is a good idea for you guys to eat and eat more to put that size on. So let's not run away from that aspect of it. Again, I know that Titan Medical is about optimizing health, but at the same time, there's some kids out here, speaking of kids, that want to put on muscle. And so I'd like to ask Serge, is what do you see at Golds and what these kids are doing?
Well, not even generalizing.
And I mean kids in the mid-20s to mid-30s.
Exactly.
Everybody's a kid to me. Yeah. Trust me, I'm old. So
even teens like 18, 19, that are most people right now with social media and everything.
Weren't they doing the SARMs?
Yeah, exactly. So like there's fads that come and go, and a lot of people that have a huge influence on social media kind of portray certain things to be kind of like a good shortcut or a good tool.
Or safe.
Yeah, or something that's safe when they've only used it maybe for 2 weeks. And then, so because they're all within the same age group, exactly.
They're the voice for those kids, and the kids are going to listen to kids.
Of course, because you're in the same age group, so you can relate to someone. So like, if I'm in my 20s and a 16-year-old comes to me, he can't relate to me as much. He still can, but it's not as close as if he follows someone else that's like 16 years old. So then they kind of correlate themselves, and they're like, well, if he did it and he looks this way, but he's been training probably a couple of years prior to that, but he just came out saying that he's taking this SARM and now he looks this much better.
I hate that.
Than me that I'm 16 entering the gym that knows nothing about lifting. Well, I think that, okay, well, it looks like maybe he spoke about starting this SARMs now, and now he looks like this, and they don't correlate the fact that maybe he trained prior to this, and this helped him a little bit. So now they hop on this, and then there's all these other issues.
I hate that. Do you guys ever see that? I know Titan Medical won't see that, but it always scares me that, and you're a father, and you got a 13-year-old, 14-year-old now. I hate the fact that these kids that are on social media start looking for shortcuts.
Yep.
And now I'm speaking really of kids that are under 20 going, I want to do a shortcut to get jacked by that age. And so they're 16, 17, and that just scares me because they're growing better than anything in the planet.
Yep.
And if you're out there and you're listening and you're a kid, trust me, be patient. I know that you hate that word patience.
That's a hard one.
But you're already growing as best as a body can grow, and you're going to get such incredible gains. But what's your advice to that? As a father, John, talking to those young kids?
All right. So, obviously, listen, I see a lot of young people that come through our clinic. And we don't treat anybody that's underneath 21 years old. But there's a lot of kids that are underneath that, 18, 17, 16-year-olds. And some of these guys are athletes. Some of these guys aren't. And some of them want that athletic edge. They want to be signed by a D1 school. They're willing to do whatever it takes. This is what somebody told them they had to do. So they look for different routes. And SARMs has been one of the most negative routes that I've seen people go. The reason is because they want to take SARMs because they don't want to start testosterone. They don't want to take steroids. Mm-hmm. The problem with SARMs, selective androgen receptor modulators, is that theory-wise, they're supposed to work great. They're supposed to boost up natural levels of testosterone and not have any conversion to estrogen. The problem is that it shuts down natural function. So your natural production of testosterone gets put on hold. Just like testosterone, it gets put on hold. It stops.
How could something over the counter, you go to your vitamin, how could something like that do that? How could that get past regulations to do that?
There's really no regulations in effect like that with over-the-counter supplementation. That's the problem. Yeah, they will test if it's pure and this and that, or everything that's in this is supposed to be in this, possibly. But the problem is that they don't look at every single supplement that goes out there. The only way that they do look at things like that is when they start getting a whole bunch of complaints, a whole bunch of people hospitalized. We've seen it before with renal failure, liver failure, and then obviously we know one supplement company was putting stuff in the mix that wasn't supposed to be in the mix. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Nobody regulated them until somebody blew the horn, and then at that point they started looking in. They said, "You better stop this," and they still continue doing it. So, you can't trust what's over the counter all the time. Everything that's over the counter, and I'm not just talking about supplementation. I'm talking about, we were talking about sunscreen, because listen, obviously sun can damage your skin and all this. You want to be protective, especially if you're fair skinned. They have carcinogenics in there they had to take off the market. I mean, these are different things that you're talking about. Somebody just goes in the store and thinks that they're doing good for themselves, and it has a negative effect on them. So SARMs for me is like, it's the gateway to a negative lifestyle at that point for them going forward health-wise, because when you shut down your natural production of testosterone, yes, you could possibly reboot it up, okay? You could possibly come back, but you might not come back as good as you were, and that sucks. Or you might not come back good at all, and that sucks too. I've seen it both ways. I've seen some people where they went on clomiphene or HCG, and then their levels continually to be 600-700. But where were they before? At that age group, there should be the highest level of testosterone possible. The 21, 22 years old, you should be balling. Like, those should be 18 to 21 should probably be your highest levels of testosterone. And then when you start getting a little bit older in your 30s, it's going to decline by 1% is what they have as the average. But you don't know where they're at in the baseline to start going down 1%. So, for the kids out there that want to get big, it's going to take time. Nothing happens overnight. Michael Hearn did not become the way he became overnight, right? It was years of being very consistent in what he was doing, eating, training, and following some of these different things. Now, there's some supplements out there that are great, but instant gratification is the new thing. Everybody wants instant gratification. And it's just not going to happen with some of these different things. And we go back to talking about some of the people who are coming up to the booth where, they're 27 years old or in their age group, and they're taking massive amounts of compounds, but they still look like garbage. So it doesn't matter what you're taking per se. You can take all the things in the world. It doesn't mean that you're going to get that result. I'm going to put 50 pounds on of lean muscle mass this year. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I've never seen somebody legitimately put on 50 pounds of lean muscle mass in a year. If they are, I don't know what to say. I mean, that's a little bit out there. If you're putting on 10 pounds of lean muscle a year, you're doing really, really, really good. Unless you're an Olympic competitor, I guess you're doing things that are more extreme, I guess, because I guess you could gain a little bit more muscle, but as far as that goes, it's going to take time. Stick with it, work hard, and you will see the result. Let your genetics play out, because eventually you're going to need testosterone or hormone replacement as you get older, possibly, right? So do everything you possibly can the right way till you've, say, hey, listen, this is the maximum I'm going to get. Like, I'm not going to get any bigger than this. I'm plateauing. And then at that point, you can make the decision if you really want to go that route. But I don't think you will if you really do what you're supposed to be doing.
What do you see these kids besides the ones? Because man, we I don't want to say names, but we've seen young 14, 15 year olds that are already using stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
we're this is even back in my day when I was doing teenage nationals and I was 17, 18, doing competitive against these other teenagers. And I'm thinking I'm a monster walking on stage at 220 at 17 years old. But they were a different, I was just a big martial arts football player, wrestler, where these guys looked like, and they were, and soon became later pro bodybuilders. Mm-hmm. So I've seen a lot of kids at a very young age do that. But I also see that in time, I get it. When you're this deep into it and you want it this much, and you see this with kids that come to California to go to Gold's Gym, they're the pinnacle of wannabe champions today, and there's not much you can say to them. Mm-hmm. For me, it seems like everything. I'm talking to somebody and I'm seeing dead eyes. It's going in, it's one ear out the other. They're going, shut up. Your time has passed. I'm going to be a champion now.
Hey, don't wear a belt.
Yeah.
So, are you talking to these guys when you're at Gold's Gym, and what is something that we can tell the viewers out here that you think might help?
I try my best to just kind of like give everyone a perspective that you gave me, which was a lot of the longevity perspective of things. Because I feel like when we met,
awesome.
I was also in the same kind of flow of like I want to get super strong really fast. I don't care how I get there. And I had injuries prior to that, and then I just kept kind of like I would suck it up, go back in the gym, pound it, and then after we met, I remember that we took like specifically on my bench where we took our time down, and you stripped me from forcing myself to bench 225 all the way down to quarters, and then fixing my form. And then I guess what I took from that, and I give that to others, is pretty much giving people the perspective of the gym and fitness is a tool used to be able to continue life longer. And so they should kind of guide themselves with people that still live that now rather than a kid that came up on Instagram 1 month and then is in the hospital next month or in a year or two looks like shit.
Yeah.
Or like, so I kind of try to give them that tool of like pull yourself in in someone else's shoes that's in their 50s or 60s rather than putting your shoes in someone that's 18 or 19 right now.
That's tough, though.
Yeah.
That's
tough.
tough. That's tough because a 20-year-old I remember being 17, 18,
Yeah.
and I looked at somebody 30, and I was like, dude, you're old as dirt. You know? I'm sorry, but that's my mind approach back then. I don't know why it switched at 19 and 20 when I got to California, Gold's Gym Venice, and I totally changed my mindset, and I go, holy sheesh. The 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds is who I only should be listening to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not the kids my age.
No.
And that was an eye opener. When I had my talks with Tom Plaz or Arnold Schwarzenegger's first time, and he looked he through my soul and was saying things, I go, oh, I had those aha moments instantly. It wasn't 10 years later. It was instantly I was getting those aha moments. And I'm like, that's why they say, listen to the elders. They are the wise. They have done this. And again, I know that's not easy. And any kid or parent out here that's trying to talk to your kid, I know that's not easy. And I'm not saying it is.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But, like you said, man, you go to the most credible source. And usually, like when I was doing it, I was trying to get big when I was younger. You go up to the biggest, baddest guy in the gym and say, hey, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And usually those guys, they'll either tell you what they're really doing or they'll tell you, I'm just eating broccoli, chicken, and rice and
Right.
train real hard. So make sure you do the exact same. You'll be just like me. So I get that. But, for me, I would always go to the older guy that looks amazing because he's been doing it for so long. If you go to something that's credible and they've been doing it, because any business you get into or anything that you do, you always want to go to the best in the business and learn from them and mentor, from them. So at that point, that's what I would do. I would definitely be listening to somebody that has been doing it for a long time and that looks real.
Devil's advocate.
Mike, if I had to say, listen, if I want to be like somebody, and don't let this go to your head, but I would like to be like Michael Hearn when I'm 55 years old. I'd be able to be strong as hell. I got a great physique, great body. I look young still. Because when you look around and some of your peers that you've been on stage with, I mean, look at them now. We were talking about it the other day. They're nowhere in the ballpark. Mm-hmm. So, at that point, you gotta go to somebody that's really credible, somebody that you think that's who you want to look like or want to be like, or whatever job you're trying to do or profession, and go to them and say, listen, I'd like to learn some of these different tricks from you. And some will take you under the wing and some won't. It is what it is.
And some you'll find are
I think that's a big part.
Yeah, some you'll see. I see a lot of people in the gym, and I look at them, and I'm like, you look incredible. Start talking to them. It comes up, so what are you taking? They tell me, oh, yeah, I'm taking testosterone. And I go, oh, cool. What were your levels before?
Right.
I don't know.
I had no idea.
They didn't know. They didn't do a test. They just
No idea.
jumped on it.
You just jumped on it, you mean? You just started? Yeah. And
I wouldn't have
talked
did
to
that,
so many people
you know?
that have done that same thing.
You know, back in
That's-
the day, it wasn't easy to get blood tests. Now it's easy to get blood tests, especially through us. I mean, it's real
Yeah.
simple and easy. You could text somebody and you can
Yeah.
do all the information over text and still get your blood test sent to you.
I
So
still feel like a blood test is seen as like something you take when you don't feel well. I feel like
Oh,
Man,
people
see, that's
still
that's
see
the
it as
age.
that,
Yeah.
That's smart.
you know.
Is that because, again, your age?
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to do a blood test.
Yeah,
because you're
if I'm young,
25.
Exactly.
Why are
then
you doing a
everything's
blood
great.
test?
Exactly. So like, at least from my background, like as well as from like a Hispanic family background or whatever, like you don't see a doctor unless you feel bad or you feel
Mhm.
sick or something's not
Mhm.
right. So like, I feel most younger people, we feel like we're on top of the world or whatever, and
Mhm.
if I feel energetic and I can get stuff done, then I don't feel like something isn't necessarily imbalanced.
Wow,
Right.
that's a tough thing to break because again, now you're saying, and I can see your point. It's like
I do
you're
too.
25. There's no point for a 25. They think
I
to
agree.
do a test.
I agree.
I feel great. I'm 25. Trust me,
Yeah.
old man. Shush. But they'll jump on
yeah.
T
Yeah.
because the biggest guy said, "This is what I'm on. I'm on this and some D ball and whatever." You know, it's like, okay, I'll just jump on that because I can definitely work just like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, again, Johnny, what are they missing?
For me, I would say this, you know, that's the old way of thinking. The old way of thinking is the Western medicine way. And that is, if it's broke, we fix it. But we never talk about the preventative thing, right? I've brought this up to you all the times. Maintenance and preventative. Just like a car. You take your car in, I don't care if it's a year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 10 years old. You're getting oil changes on it, you're getting maintenance, you're getting the things that clear your mirror, your windshield wipers replaced, whatever it is. But we don't talk about it for people like that, right? And even for me, like, you know, and I would suggest doing this if you can find somebody to do it. Like I do it for my son. He's gonna be 14 years old. He is 14 years old. I'll do a blood test on him right now. I want to see where he's at
That's sweet.
because I want him to make sure that he's optimal and he's good to go. And you know, when we talk about 25-year-olds, even though they're young, you know, there's 25-year-olds that do have some different health issues that might be underlying they don't even know of. And they're not. It doesn't make them feel any different. They're still energetic. They're still doing this, but you know, for me, it's seeing really what's going on. And, you know, even at 25 years old, I want to see what the hell is going on to make sure that, hey, listen, I'm good. Because if not, I can optimize this and make sure I am good. That's the way of training that we need to re-educate people to think. Hey, listen, this is not because you're sick. This is to see where you're at to make sure that you're good. And then, hey, listen, you can have that better peace of mind. Like, I am good. And I do feel like Superman. And I am Superman. Because that's how a lot of younger guys think. They think they're bulletproof. Nothing's ever going to happen to them. They're never going to get injured. All these different things are just going to pass them by. And then reality comes and smacks them in the face, and they either get injured or something else goes on. So, you know, it's just something to look at. You know, like I said, for younger guys out there, you can optimize in different ways. It doesn't have to be testosterone. It could be peptide therapy, it could be amino acid blend. A lot of people need to lose weight. And a lot of people are under 25 years old and need to lose a ton of weight. Right?
I gotta say something real here because I'm thinking about this, and I think we forget when we see a monster of a human or an athlete, we forget their age. And the only reason I say that is because you're talking about 25-year-olds and stuff,
Mhm.
and you're looking at these millionaires now that are college athletes that are 18, 19, and 20 years old, and they're already checking these kids out because they're business, they're millionaires, and by the time they're just 21, 22, they're pro football players or whatever, you know, that sport is that they go into at 22.
Yeah.
And they're they're doing MRIs on their
Absolutely.
back and knees and ankles. They're doing blood work and they're doing so
Absolutely.
much. So for you people out there that go, my kid, I'm doing this. Okay, I get it. But you're jumping on or thinking about jumping onto something that's a second level, obviously, you know, and you're not doing the proper footwork prior to that, where these kids that can't go to that venture are doing blood work. So there's a definite disconnect. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
there's a different,
Oh, yeah.
there's such a disconnect in fitness compared to the real athletic sports.
Absolutely.
They're taking themselves so serious at 21, 22 years old, and the companies are taking them serious, where the gym guy is not taking it serious and just going, hey, I'm shitballing here and I'm just going to do this guy's cycle.
I think that comes down to a big part of that is the influence aspect of it.
The influencers again.
That's because like something you do very well, which is like we publicize all your recovery work. So like we have Jimmy coming on and we post videos of you getting work done by Jimmy. Whereas an NFL athlete, most of the time, is only going to be posting content of him hitting a really good play or him doing a really good throw, because those kind of things get views, but then they're not really influencing people on the fact that prior to him getting his NFL contract, after every game, he would go over and then he'd see a specialist on getting certain blood work done, or he could see a specialist on a knee, because if a really good athlete sometimes publicizes that they have owies or something's going on, then maybe it may be looked at as like, oh, he might not be good to go.
No, his career's already over.
Exactly.
He's done.
Yeah.
So then,
That $15 million contract is now $6 million.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then they're not really influencing people on the fact that to get that $15 million contract, he really took the time. He went to bed at 7 p.m. He got the recovery. He got massages. He had all these other factors in that got him to where he's at now. But all he's publicizing was the fact that he's a really good player, and now he got this.
That's a tough one though, because it's like I understand being on Gladiators. Mostly as a young kid, I understood the concept of the head office and you're replaceable. So I understood real fast. Don't ice up in front of the producers. Don't bandage up. Don't ask anything. Don't say nothing. If you're injured, shut your mouth. Go home. Take care of it on your own. But don't say it, because you're replaced in a second. And that's how pro game. You know, as much as they love their players, you're gone.
Oh yeah.
You're injured. I get it. You're gone. And the same thing happens in the workload. I get it. Somebody is not doing their job, or something happens, they're out. Next person's in. But again, it goes back to the health and fitness world. They take it so relaxed, like this next step isn't going to hurt me, and it definitely won't hurt me in 10 to 15 years, because I'm only going to do it for a year. I'm only jumping on for just right now.
Yeah.
And I get to keep all of it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where's the misconception there?
Big misconception.
Yeah.
Big,
So,
big.
Johnny, tell when somebody's coming in there, that's the great thing about the levels that you're looking for.
Yep.
Is to keep it,
Of course.
and to keep them the very best they can at that moment, and keep
course.
that for the longest period of time as possible.
Of course, it's all. Listen, it's all about if you're gonna have to do testosterone replacement therapy or HRT, and you need it, because that's a big thing. If you need it, right? You want to continuously stay on. There's no on and off. There's no cycling when you're on HRT. You're replacing something that's not there, and if you don't take the medication, you're not going to replace what's not there. It's just like cholesterol medication, statins, if you need that, whatever it is. If you don't take it, then you're going to get the negative effect, the thing that was helping. So that's the first thing, because there's some people that start hormone replacement therapy or TRT, like we said, younger, or have no idea where the levels were even at to start, and that's not smart to do. That's, to me, it's ignorant. Because there's so many places out there that offer you can buy a free and total testosterone test for $25. Who wouldn't spend $25 to get that, right? And then you can see. You go in, you see it. You're, all right, cool. All right, this is where I'm at. All right, well, maybe I do need this. Okay, I'll do it. But for me, it's like, you gotta understand. You gotta be on it consistently to get the effect of it. If you don't, then that's what's gonna happen. And when you go on, you stay on, and you're consistently having levels. They're even keel all the way across the board. You get up, you stay up, not go up, go down like a roller coaster ride. That's bad for the body. You're actually putting it in a shock. It doesn't know what's going on. It's like, all right, cool, we're going to do this. Oh, no, we're not going to do this. Where are we at? And then that is going to start messing with your health. It's going to start messing with all different things. You can cause depression if you start crashing yourself. High estrogen levels can come there, possible gynecomastia, fat deposits. Low libido effect. concentration, clarity in the minds, because everybody thinks that testosterone is going to put muscles on you and give you hard-ons, but it has a lot more effect on the body than you know, especially in the brain with the receptors. So, this is something that somebody really needs to have education on of what's going on with their body, and then make the decision with a provider that what they're going to do, and knowing the numbers. I mean, really knowing where you're at. I mean, that's key. I know I say it a lot, but it really is. I mean, for everybody out there, whether you're a competitive bodybuilder or you're a regular average day Joe, you should know what's going on and be able to make the decision. And if you're going to go on, stay on if you can, and you'll feel the best, because it's all about longevity and feeling the best you possibly can for as long as you can, right?
I gotta say one second real quick, and I'm gonna turn it over to these guys. But yesterday I went and got some stem cell, which was real cool.
Yeah.
And John's talking to me right now, and the team at Titan Medical on a recovery program after doing the stem cell. How can I enhance the recovery, make sure that this takes and the body absorbs it and utilizes it, and I get better, which is great. And again, preventative. I'm doing this before. And so it was great. It was great to also just the process, and I'll talk about another time, about how we had the x-rays there, or the machine, and so I could see the bones and see the spacing and all this kind of stuff. But it's cool. We got video. We'll show it. We'll show the process. The one thing I wanted to talk about was the great thing that the doctor was talking when they went in to get the stem cell.
Yep.
And they go into my body.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this guy that was, and no offense to you guys, if you want to be a vegan, that's great, but very much a vegan client who was also very into fasting.
Big on fast.
Big on fasting. There's a process he does where he numbs you, obviously, before taking the stem cell. And he went in with the needle to numb it. And when he pushed the needle in and hit the bone, it actually went into the bone.
Oof.
The reason why I say that is because the needle shouldn't have gone into the bone, but his bones were so fragile.
Wow.
Relative to yesterday when he did the drill into the bone to try to get the stem cell. He said, holy sheesh, I had to change the thing and go back in with a different one because your bones were so dense. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
I love knowing that. I was like, that again, I always talk to you guys about the connective tissue and my bone density is the most important thing to me. And to actually have a doctor that's in there doing it, and the comparison between beliefs I don't believe in on nutrition and how to train compared to what I do believe in, and the difference just on a process like this going, wow, your density in the bones is so healthy compared to a guy that was 25 years younger than you. That was just, it was a nice thing to hear. I felt bad for the other guy, but again, for me and what I'm doing, and I talk about it, it made me go, we're still on the right path. This is cool.
It's proof that you can't see. Like,
It's proof that you can't
Yeah.
see. Yeah, it's a great terminology.
And listen, whether you're vegan or not, let's say you are vegan, you need more supplementation than ever because you're not getting certain things. I mean, there's big deficiencies with vegans that they have to supplement. B12 is one of them. I mean, that's a major part that they have to supplement that you see low levels of. So if you are a vegan, that's your choice. Just like my choice is to be a caveman and eat meat every day. You got to do what you got to do to make sure you're all right. I mean, even we were talking about branched chain amino acids and blood testing those and be able to see every single one of those. It's another one you might want to look at if you're a vegan, just to make sure that you're good.
you need a vegan potion.
A vegan potion. Hey, there you go.
Exactly.
Oh, Jeffrey came up with a vegan potion. So you got the Hercules potion.
There you
which
go.
Jeff just said something. Jeff, can you tell him what you've seen online about the Hercules potion?
Yeah, a lot of people keep asking us what it is because they keep hearing about it, or they keep hearing about a piece of what it does. So we just keep getting a lot of questions about the Hercules potion.
Okay. Listen, Hercules Potion is one of our number one custom signature amino acid blends. It was formulated by me, a chemist, and another pharmacist. And at that point, I've had it for about 8 years in the clinic. There's 9 different components in Hercules Potion. And there's 9 different benefits you're going to get from it. When we talk about some of these different ingredients, we talk about glutamine. Glutamine is number 1 for recovery amino acid, right? That's something you don't feel instant gratification of, but you will feel as you're starting to train and starting to recover faster. The biggest thing that people get from this that they love, and the instant gratification, is the muscle pump, right? The vasodilation from the L-citrulline and arginine, and vasodilation, blood flow throughout the body, increasing vessel size and the whole nine. So they get more vascular right away. And then the more strenuous activity they can do with the ornithine. So with the ornithine, they'll be able to do more strenuous activity, whether it's lifting more weights, whether it's running, sexual performance, whatever it may be. Then we talk about the immune system, because when we talk about working out and putting stress on the body, it's going to affect the immune system. So we back that up with two different things. One is lysine. Lysine is great for the immune system, boosts the immune system. The next thing is NAC, so helping with liver functions, protecting liver functions. That's going to be key because the liver is the filter of the body. It needs to be running optimal processed fats faster through it. You're going to get a lot more benefit. After that, we talk about proline, collagen boosting amino acid. We want that for our joint areas and all throughout. L-carnitine is great for muscle building, vasodilation, nervous system. Yeah, I mean, that's the case.
Can you take this once or twice a day?
So you can take this as many times as you want during the day. It's not going to hurt you. There's nothing in there that's going to stay in your body. So like vitamin D, which is a hormone, and like vitamin E or certain things like that are oil-based, and those can become toxic. When we talk about like B12, B complex, these amino acids, these are all water-based. So you can take as much as you want. Now for me, I would take maybe like 4 mLs on a real crazy day. And the 4 mLs I would take with one each with this insulin syringe. Okay, it's a 1 ml. It's a 30 gauge. You guys probably can't see it because it's that small.
Can you make
And you
that
can use
bigger?
this to spot inject into different muscles: biceps, triceps, chest, lagging body parts, legs. You know, because some people, what I've used this for before was they got in a bad car accident or a motorcycle accident. One guy broke his femur, had to be in a cast the whole time for about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, whatever it was. So the leg went through atrophy, right? So he had to catch up the leg back to where it was before. And this really helped with mind to muscle connection, which is huge, right? You want that when you're lifting. It will increase that. So if you've never felt that, because there's people out there that, how do I get mind to muscle connection? Because I just started working out and I don't feel it. I'm like, one, you need to concentrate and think about, you're pushing blood in this muscle and thinking about that. You're trying to connect with that muscle. But this will improve that mind to muscle connection. And the best thing is that you stay pumped for 4 to 6 hours afterwards. So you could literally shoot this in your chest. You're going out to a pool party, get down, do 50 push-ups, and now you're walking to the pool. I call them the bar muscles for guys, because some guys take this before they have sex because their muscles are now hard and the girl's feeling like, oh man, like, there's one guy, David Hensley, he's 50 years old. He tells me that all the time. He's like, yeah, man, it's like I used it before, and the girl's feeling me up and down like hard. So the blood flow in the body is also going to help download too as well, because you're going to get more blood flow, nitric oxide throughout the body. So that's why. I mean, anybody that's taken Hercules Potion will tell you, like, it does what I say it's going to do. It's it's something that will definitely intensify your workouts, help your workouts, and hopefully get you way better results. So you're just trained with amino acids. So if you're a natural guy, 21 years old, 22 years old, your testosterone's great, right? And you just want something to help out. This is going to be something you can use. It's not going to affect your hormones. It's not going to shut down your natural testosterone production and give you great benefits that your body already needs. You need some of these different things. Essential and non-essential amino acids are key to the body, man, and precursors to everything that goes on in the body. Growth hormone, 191 amino acid sequence. BPC, amino acid sequence. All these peptides, amino acid sequences. So having more amino acids in your body in abundance is going to be better for your body all the way around.
I think that's a great segue to like a question of, for the younger audience. So like, there's peptides and steroids are kind of thrown around all over social media as kind of like a correlation. So then if someone that's young that doesn't want to take steroids comes into your office and asks you, is there a difference between a peptide and a steroid? And if there is a difference, then would a peptide be beneficial for someone that's younger in the sense of developing themselves for a long term rather than taking a steroid that could possibly take in the opposite direction?
Sure. So peptides are different than steroids, obviously. Anabolic steroids and peptides, or even corticosteroids and peptides, are different. Would I say that they're going to be better for some different things? Absolutely. They're not going to raise testosterone levels or anything like that. They're not going to kill testosterone levels. But healing-wise, BPC 157, TB500, those are the game changers. When we talk about AOD 9604 for weight loss, game changer. It's a fragment of growth hormone, 176 amino acid sequence. And it's really, really cool. I mean, the way that works, getting rid of the fat, getting the body to not store fat. I mean, these are game changers for people out there. So, there's other ones out there that we offer too, like MK. So if a guy wants to get bigger, let's say a kid's 19, 20 years old, and says, you know what, I want to get big, but I don't want to take steroids or SARMs. What can I do? And I would say, hey, listen, MK677 might be a way to go. Because one, you're probably going to need to get more calories down, right? You're training, you can't eat as much. This is going to open up that. The other thing is it's going to raise IGF-1 levels. And raising IGF-1 levels is what you want from growth hormone. Like, that is the key. Because when you inject growth hormone, it has to go down. It goes from the pituitary down to the liver, and then it converts into IGF-1, 2, and 3. So that's what you want right off the bat. And if you can raise IGF-1 levels, your recovery is going to be better. Lean muscle tissue is going to come a lot quicker. You're going to feel better all the way around. Skin elasticity, hair, all that's there. So that's what I would recommend for somebody that was a younger guy that said, listen, I want to put on muscle. And I would always recommend peptides. The only thing is that with this FDA thing coming into play, where are they going to source the peptides? It's one thing if they're getting it from a pharmacy and we know everything is the way it should be. You're getting what it should be in the vial. But the ban, and let's say they run out of all these peptides and we can't service patients no more, then they're going to go and get these peptides from gray market areas or black market areas. And listen, guys, I get these emails all the time from the suppliers. It's crazy. China suppliers and U.S. suppliers, they already have it here. And they're like, listen, we have all this different product we can send you. PPC, Trend, I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. So that's what a lot of these places do. They buy from there, and then they just drop ship out whatever your order is on the website. Mm-hmm. So you really don't know what you're getting, so you're putting yourself at risk. It's like playing Russian roulette. Maybe the bullet's in there, maybe it's not in there, and I'll be okay, maybe not be okay. But yeah, so I mean, I would recommend peptides all day over, unless they needed testosterone or a hormone replaced, obviously peptides are going to be beneficial.
This is off subject, but you got me all excited and thinking about this. For all ages, from 25 to 55, or beyond. Yeah. And we got a 60-year-old here that's talking about it. We're all starting this blitz on Monday, so we're 3 days away. Besides the program that I put together, the nutrition on how to eat during these 30 days, the cardiovascular on how to do that for those 30 days. Can we at Titan, a team here from this Titan to that Titan, can we put together a protocol or cycle, whatever you want to call it, like injectable L-carnitine, AOD, the Hercules potion, maybe a small base of things of peptides, if we have them available for them to call up and say, hey, I'm doing the 30-day blitz. The Titan sent me. I would like to get these peptides that would help everything that I'm putting together.
I think that's a great idea. And we should have the peptides for at least 30 more days.
Okay, so just for you guys at home, I'll have the team work on this. Try to get the L-carnitine, I think the Hercules potion. And again, you're the expert here, but things that, regardless of who you are, their peptides are still available now that can help you over the next 30 days. Enhance what we're already doing and help with the recovery, help with the burning of more fat, helping you retain that muscle as we do this. And so this is kind of a cool thing. And it just came to me as Serge was, again, a young 25-year-old that may want to try something. I'm asking and praying to you guys, maybe right now, try this for the next 30 days, the peptides along with the 30-day blitz, and see how that gets you. And then from there, get your blood work done before or after, and then see what John thinks that you should do on the next step and his team.
Absolutely. And you guys are going to be able to talk to provider too. There's a little personalized regimen for you guys too if you want extras, or tell you, what's going on with what you're going to be taking too. So you're very educated about what you're putting in your body, how it's going to work, and how it's going to help you. I think that's key too, is education for patients and to know, and not to say, oh, well, this guy prescribed me this, so that's why I'm taking it. Like, okay, like why? Like, what are you taking it for? And do you know the benefits you're going to get from it? Because, people don't know. They don't know all the time. They just say, hey, listen, this is what got prescribed me, this is what I'm taking. That's what I'm doing. So I always like patients to be in the mix of what they're doing because it helps them down the road. Knowledge is power. It's something that somebody can't take from you. All those years of experience and knowledge you have, me, vice versa, and these guys. I mean, it's something that you learn over time. You retain that. So, It's definitely beneficial for me. I think the 30-day thing is going to be awesome. I think people are going to get great results all the way through and through, and I'm really excited for it. Especially incorporating your nutrition and training with the Titan therapies. It's a home run, dude. Home run.
I thought about that just because we have this ebook that's going to go out, and this may be
Nice.
an additional thing that we
Definitely.
could try to put in there going, hey,
Nice.
extra help, get a hold of Titan Medical
Sure.
and talk to them about peptides and your blood work. Because I think that's a great thing for them to do. And it's still, you can start 30-day blitz whenever, but we're starting Monday.
Yeah.
We're already going. So we're into this mix. And I know that you said that you're sending out the Hercules potion.
Hercules.
And so I'll also, like we said at the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
you're going to follow Bartley along.
Yep.
And Bartley is the professional leader, IFBB Pro, through his journey. And then we're going to do the same thing with me on what I am, supplementation from Titan Medical, the nutrition, the training, and everything. So you can kind of see the change. That way, you don't go, wow, wait a minute. In 30 days, I just saw Mike, and he was 290, and now he's ripped to the bone at 260. How did that happen? Well, we're going to have it documented for you guys.
I love it. I love it. That's the best when somebody can see it and not just the final result. They see what it took to get there. Because when they see the final result, it's like anything else. Oh, it looks great,
Yeah.
but do anything, right? And it's like that for anything, like the events we put together or the way your body looks or whatever. They have no idea the trials, tribulations, the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, sacrifice that go into making that polished and pretty and look like that. So, it's really great because people can relate to that and they can feel the struggle and they can put themselves in their shoes. So I think it's a great idea, Mike. I think it's phenomenal, to be honest with you. And you documenting that, people are going to be
Definitely
like,
that
whoa.
question there.
Whoa.
Okay, I am looking into something to help me with recovery and strength. I'm 60 plus. I'm looking to become the best version of myself.
Yep.
Yeah, again, I think this goes back to you're 60, get the blood work done, let Titan Medical then talk to you. And I think you guys in that conversation will decide together on what is the best options for you.
Yep. Definitely.
I have a question on, so like earlier you mentioned a peptide, and you're giving all these like good effects of like pretty much what a steroid would give you, which is like saying it's going to get me stronger, it's going to build me more mass, it's going to do this, this, and this. So then at one point, for people that don't really understand the difference, and because there's a lot of correlations of like if I take whatever, let's say GH, and GH gives me more size, but this peptide is doing the same thing. Where do you give the difference between a peptide and a steroid? Like, why is a peptide, and why is GH a steroid if they're both giving me the same effects?
Sure. Well, I mean, growth hormone is growth hormone's a little bit different as far as the steroid. When we talk about anabolics and androgens, it really doesn't fit that category. But when we talk about testosterone, decanandrolone, which is Nor19, Anavar, which is oxandrolone, which just got recently banned by the FDA. Can't believe that because it has therapeutic science behind it. But so these things are a little bit different, right? These are anabolics and androgens. These are hormones usually related. When you talk about peptides, like when we talked about MK and we talked about getting the higher IGF-1 level and stuff, they work differently. So with the sequence of amino acids, that really depends on what the result's going to be. So with MK, it's a GHRH peptide. So it's a growth hormone releasing hormone peptide. And the way that it works is different as far as growth hormone. So growth hormone, the way that it works is it overstimulates the pituitary, where MK is going to definitely stimulate the pituitary, but probably not to the fact that growth hormone is going to do. Okay? I mean, it's a little bit different in that as far as that goes. But there's no they're totally different things, I guess. I don't know how to break it down for you, but they're totally different things. You got peptides, which are amino acid sequences, and you got hormones. And these hormones are going to be different as far as if you take testosterone, you're going to shut down your natural function. If you take peptides, you're not going to shut down your natural production because it has nothing to do with that sector at all. So that's kind of what it is. I mean, differently. I mean, there's only one there's a couple different peptides that work with GHRH as far as that goes. CJC with ipamorelin, You had the old GHRP2 and GHRP6, which will stimulate ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And you still have one peptide that will stay around that's a GHRH peptide. And it was the original one. It was Semirelin. And Semirelin was originally developed to replace growth hormone, but it doesn't work as good as growth hormone does. I'll just be honest with you guys. And CJC works a lot better, but that's on the ban list, so that'll be going away. So Semirelin's going to probably be their best bet after that. That's going to be on the market. They're always going to be able to get it, no problems. But
I guess it's an odd question, but Semirelin is a peptide. Mm-hmm. Why is that not banned if Butymorelin or those things are banned?
Sure. So the difference is this, guys. Like tirzepatide and semaglutide, we talk. Those are peptides too as well. The difference with Semirelin and these different peptides is that they are FDA approved. Peptide therapy.
So there's been enough, from what I understand. So there's enough research on Semirelin that's why it's being able to stay around, because it seems like it's
got the approval by
the
FDA.
reason why the ones are all being discontinued or banned is because of the fact of the research. I don't know if people know that, but it's the research behind it is not enough, and that's where the big FD, the real money people are saying, "Hey, we spend so much money on research that we have to get it approved."
Yeah.
And these guys never did that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he did kind of a situation.
It is. It's a gray line, I guess, if you really want to say it like that, where there is a lot of clinical data on these peptides. And when you go to the FDA website for the banning, whatever, they have the reason for all these peptides of why they're not supposed to be safe for compounding. And that answer is the exact same for every single one going down there, which it shouldn't be the exact same for everyone going down there. It's just they're not all the exact same. They're not going to all have the exact same safety profile. I mean, even some of these peptides that they banned before, or they're banning now, I guess, like AOD. If you went to the FDA website previous to this, it had a GRAS status, generally regarded as safe. So now they're saying it's not safe, which is like, this is a little hypocritical now. You said this before, now you're saying this now. So, the FDA approval, if they get the FDA approval, that's one thing. If they don't get the FDA approval, compound pharmacies can compound peptides if they didn't have the FDA approval. But now the FDA doing the ban, they're not going to want to have anything to do with it, because the FDA can essentially go in and shut down their business for good and take away the licensing. And it's not worth it to them to be able to lose the whole business over a little bit of the pie, I guess. It is going to affect a ton of patients and a ton of people out there that were getting benefits from peptides, or could in the future possibly get benefits from peptides. The only response that I've seen from pharmacies in this is that pharmacies are looking for ways around. They're looking for loopholes. Some pharmacies are giving the finger up. They don't care. And then some pharmacies are looking for other peptides that can give similar results. But some of those peptides out there, I've seen some of them, there's not a lot of research in them, and I wouldn't recommend anything that doesn't have research behind it. I wouldn't take it, and I wouldn't expect anyone else to take it. Just because they're trying to replace different things that are getting lost, I don't think that's a good way to go about it. I think there's different things that are not here that I'm going to bring to the table that's going to blow people's minds, and it's going to be legal, and it's never going to go away. And that's ultimately what I want to do for patients. Because it sucks being on a regimen for, let's say, 4 or 5 years. And now all of a sudden, I can't get this? Why? This sucks. Like, I've been using BPC and TB500 for years, guys. And it going away really sucks. I stocked up as much as possible, but, I mean, how long is that going to last me? A year, 2 years? And then what am I going to do at that point? Hopefully there's some better things that come and hit the market. That's all I can say. I will be bringing different things to the market from Titan Medical Center, though. You can bet that.
Jeffrey has a question here.
You were saying you could stock up for a couple of years. What stuff can you stock up on? Like what's got the longest shelf life?
You can stock up on all the peptides still. I mean, they're still all available. So at that point, you can do 6 months at a time if you want to. You can order a couple months down the road if we still have them like that. If you want to do 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is. That's the way that I did it.
Like, how long will MK last? Like, if I want to get like MK677, like, how long will a bottle last if I put it in the cabinet for future use?
Sure. So the bottle, I mean, you're going to be able to get 6 months per se. That medication should be at least good for at least a year as far as in capsule form without degenerating or at that point losing any potency or concentration in the medications inside of it. And then the other peptides that are injectable are all lyophilized. That's the best way to keep them preserved. So they keep the concentration, potency, all that until, you basically reconstitute the medication. And then when you reconstitute the medication, then you'll have a timetable when you're going to take it. But you're going to take it anyway because you reconstitute it. So you can run that how you want to, and you still have the bottles that are lyophilized. And if you don't know what lyophilized means, it means basically freeze-dried. And that's what it is. It's like a little white powder, a little pancake on the bottom of the bottle. And that's something you would reconstitute with bacteriostatic water. And anybody that's done peptides knows how to do this. It's very simple, very easy. We got videos on it too as well. But that's the way that I would do it. I would stock up, and MK is one thing where it's capsule form. It's the only GHRH peptide that's in oral form. That's the only one that's worked. And all the rest were injectable.
And in that unreconstituted state, you said that lasts a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean it goes in the shelf, in the fridge?
Fridge, shelf, you want to. I mean, some you just, as long as they're in dark areas, sunlight's not directly hitting them, you don't want that for any medications. But you can put them in the fridge if you want. At that point, that could keep them a little bit more fresh, I guess. If you have maybe a moisture in your house or temperature change in the house, it's always good to keep it at a temperature that's going to be even keeled and stay the same because you don't want it going up and down. But yeah, that's what I do. I have it in my cupboard in my kitchen. Like if you went in my kitchen and you look in this big cupboard.
Mona, it's in his
full of
cupboard.
medication.
Next time we go, it's in his cupboard.
It's awesome. I look at it and I get happy every time I look at it. I'm like, yes.
It's going to be
at least
empty
I'm
next
good for
time.
a little bit.
Hey, so this is a good finishing question today. What's my supplementation going to be over the next 30 days during this cut? And I think I've talked about this a lot, and we're going to talk about this every single day and be able to show you as we are doing this. And I'm going to be doing this on my YouTube, so you'll be able to see every day. And did yesterday go up?
Yeah, both
And
of them.
so here's the great thing. Yesterday was we have 4 days of prepping to do the 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm showing you how I and Mona are getting ready to start this on Monday for everybody out there. And then those 30 days, I'm going to be working with Titan Medical on a supplementation on what they're recommending for me to do, and plus my nutrition and training throughout this period. So your question is, what is it going to be? You get to see it right there on my every day on what I'm doing on my YouTube.
We'll do one on the Instagram for the subscribers.
On the subscribers for Instagram.
They'll get to see it first.
Great idea. So you'll be able to see it first on my subscriber on my Instagram for those that are really diehards that want to see what I'm doing in my protocol from Titan Medical. You'll be able to see it every single day on what is going on.
That's awesome.
So that's a great idea. Nice, Jeffrey. I like that.
Yeah, that's great. I want whatever Jeff's taking.
Yeah.
What do you
He's
think,
a
Jeff?
big boy, isn't he?
Hell yeah.
That's funny. I know
When you talked about
Wait a minute. I gotta correct this. Wait a minute. Hold on.
what do you got?
3:30 for 12.
Oh, what
dude,
the hell?
Dude, that's lame.
No,
That was.
I never did
was-
that.
Yeah, that was. Sorry, man. Count
never
those
did that.
plates again. Count those plates again.
I never
There
did
was
that.
like
Oh, you
5
did deadlifts with Jeff with for 3:30. Man, what was he? 12 years old?
No.
Gee.
Come on
Jeff
now.
did that lifts for 3:30. I didn't touch that.
Oh man.
Quick question about, like, let's say you're taking some peptides to strengthen the ligaments, strengthen the tendons, and I know when you get off, we were talking about the anabolics, you lose everything. Well, what about when you are taking MK677 to strengthen your ligaments and tendons, and then you get off with that? Are the effects of that sustained for a longer period of time? Because just in my mind, it seems like the tendons would act differently than the muscles in that sense.
So with MK, what you see is what you're going to get, and what you got, you're going to keep. That's the good thing about MK. Now, when you stop taking MK, recovery is going to lower because IGF-1 levels aren't going to be as high. So at that point, you can say that strength might go down a little bit, not much, but a little bit. You might even get stronger, to be honest with you. Most people do. If they take it properly, they're eating, they're training properly, they're going to get bigger and they're going to get stronger and they're going to keep that. It's not something where it's like testosterone when you get off and you're going to lose all your gains, you're going to crash and all this stuff. That's not going to happen. Like Drew's a prime example. Throw him on MK for 3 months before Olympia or whatever it is. He gets bigger, he gets stronger, and then he gets leaner. And at that point, like, he goes off and it's not like he's missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the good thing about the peptide. I mean, the peptides, you're not going to have that negative effect of losing what you got because you're crashing.
That's great to know.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just curious about taking it in terms of only building up connective tissue and strength. And then if I had to stop for whatever reason, does the strength that I accumulated during that phase is it gone after I stop taking it?
No, it's not like an anabolic where it's going to give you strength. Like some anabolics can definitely make you stronger. A little bit.
So,
you know?
yeah. Not strength isn't how much I can lift, but how much, the strength of the tendons and connective tissue themselves and building upon that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, connective tissues. This is going to strengthen connective tissues. You're not going to lose any strength in the connective tissues.
Yeah.
It shouldn't loosen or anything like that. It should get stronger. It should repair better. So as you're breaking down muscle too as well, it should repair like stronger, better. That's going to go with the recovery process and everything your body's doing with the IGF-1 level being up. Yeah, I think that's
a great one because we were just talking about this, John, at the beginning of the show. We were talking about how there was guys I was on stage with in the 80s and 90s, and then we saw them this weekend, and what I was able to still be, and they did not. And that's, I think Jeffrey's asking. More importantly, and this is my belief, is that I want to make the connective tissue the strongest I can, and then hold it there as possible. And it's a great point that the peptides and stuff are getting you to a level that you get to maintain and keep relative to doing things. And again, when we say doing things that you lose, that's probably an extreme to you health and fitness people, because the way that Titan Medical does it, it gets you to a point that you get to retain.
That's right.
On if you do anything like a testosterone or anything else like that. So that's a kind of a cool thing, because the levels that they're doing is just trying to optimize you and not do what the health and fitness kind of world does and destroy you in a sense.
Super physiological levels.
Yeah.
You got people that, like I've seen people in these forums and stuff like that, and they're like, they're bragging because they have like, untapped testosterone markers, and they come back at 5,000, 6,000, but they look like garbage. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's not to brag about. Like you're taking what, I don't know how many grams of testosterone, and you look like garbage, bro. I mean, like, I could see if you look like $1 million, I'm like, oh damn, maybe this guy's onto something. But
it was like the guy that came up and did a video with me at the Olympia. He was like, he gassed up when he was 27, and he's still on T now. And I'm looking at him going,
since 24.
I wouldn't think you even lift. not on. I did. Yeah, I would say, holy sheesh. I wouldn't even look at you in a crowd thinking that's an athlete or somebody that works out or somebody that's on testosterone.
For sure.
So it was like, wow. At 30, you look like that. Good luck, man. I can't wait to see you at 40 and 50. Holy shit. Sorry about that. But I mean,
no, it's okay. But it's true. It really is true. It's like, I was telling my dad about this story today, actually, Mike, where the dude was interviewing you and stuff like that. You told him, hey, listen, I'm double nickels, man. You're 27 years old. You wouldn't be able to hold my jock now. And back then, you definitely wouldn't be able to hold my jock. So it's funny because when this guy gets older, it's just going to go downhill and he's going to look worse, guaranteed. Because I don't see him on a progressive track of getting better. It just is what it is. He can influence all day, but at that point, man, if you can't hold somebody's jock strap and they're 55 years old, you better stop talking junk and better start working on yourself. I mean, because that's really what it is. Putting the attention on everybody else when you should be putting the attention on yourself and starting to really.
Well, if they put the attention on themselves, nobody's going to listen. So he has to put it on other people. So that at the end of the day, I understand him trying to get that nut, but unfortunately, he's got to go to bed every night going, that's all he does for a living.
That's got to make it feel bad, man. Like at 27 years old, man, like, oh, this guy is 55 and I'll never be this. I'll never be this ever in my life. No matter how hard I do things, how much stuff I take, it's a reality check. For sure.
I have a great question here. If people would like, or do they need blood work to get peptides?
So no, you don't need blood work for any peptides and amino acids or anything like that. For hormones, IGF-1, you're gonna need blood work for that. But all the rest of the stuff, you don't need blood work. Obviously, I would always recommend doing blood work, especially when on MK, because you want to look at that IGF-1 level base. I mean, even if you just want to run an IGF-1 test, that's for me. I'm the analytical person. I want to know.
I'm agreeing with you. You don't
Right?
need the blood work. This is from the CEO of Titan Medical. You
Yeah.
don't need it, but it's inexpensive. And I think you're doing a special.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can-
It's welcome
and
to
the reason
the.
why. Just listen to me for a second, everybody out there. You don't have to do the blood work, but then how do you know what's working and what's happening?
Right.
And on top of that, John's going to tell us right now. There's I think a discount
Yep.
for you guys to get
Yep.
your blood work done,
Yep.
and it just makes sense to. Again, if it's $100, $200, whatever, I'll pay whatever because I love keeping track of it.
Yep.
But it's good for you to see what's going on and how it changes. So,
Absolutely.
John, what's going on? What kind of blood work
Sure.
discounts
So,
are they doing right now?
We wanted to welcome the Titan himself, Michael Hearn, to the Titan family, especially coming off a huge Olympia. So we did a blood work special. The blood work special is our full in-depth panel, and that covers everything from CMP, comprehensive metabolic panel, liver, kidneys, electrolytes, complete blood cell count, white blood cell count, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit, prostate, PSA, full cholesterol panel, HDL, LDL ratio, triglycerides, total cholesterol. And then we look at free and total testosterone, estradiol levels, progesterone levels, IGF-1 levels, B12 levels. So it's a really, really in-depth panel for guys. And girls, we have it in-depth panels for you too as well. But it's usually $200. But since Mike, we're doing the special for him, it's $130 for that full in-depth panel. It's really, really inexpensive. And I'll even extend that for your 30-day blitz people. If they can, you send them something, say, hey, listen, he's a 30-day blitz person. We give them that blood work special because we want to discount things as much as possible so you guys can have the full picture and have all the tools you need to get the best result and to have it be a success story. Because you can send like, man, Mike, look at the success story. And Titan, look at the success. I love that stuff. So whatever we can do to help there, we're there.
We're definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna ask the team here to alter the ebook and add this portion in there, telling you guys. And I know you're here today, but if you don't see this today, when they do see the 30-day blitz volume 2 new 30-day blitz program, they get to get a hold of Titan Medical as a discount. Get that blood work done, and also talk to them again. I think it's smart to maybe optimize your body with some of these peptides that are still available as you do the 30-day blitz. Because if Mona was here, she would say most of you are not going to make it through. Now, I'm a much nicer guy, and I'm going to say I hope and I wish you guys all do make it through, but it is tough. I get that. It's not supposed to be easy. I want you to change, and so it is tough. And so this might help on those hard days when that energy is not there. You got more energy. It's also going to retain that muscle and help retain that muscle, not just the nutrition, but by having the optimized subscription from what they're giving you as well. So this is gold.
It's gonna be a home run. And girls, it's $200. There's more blood testing on your blood test. That's why it's a little bit more money. I always get that question. Why is the
So cheap though.
male test cheaper than the female test? And there's some different hormone panels that we can run on the females, like total estrogen, DHEA, and such. So we have a little bit bigger picture because females are a little bit harder to dial in than males, and guys are a little bit more easygoing, right? If we get a pimple or something like that, we're not gonna go crazy. Girl gets a pimple, she gains 2 pounds. She's emotional. She's gonna let you know right away. Like,
wait a minute, hold on. I think you just described me. Well, that's clear. I'm a female. I'm in LA, so I can identify as one today. I got a pimple, and I'm worried.
Yeah, so I mean, the blood testing is key, and I see somebody ask on there, is the $150 all in? So it's $130 right now. So if you get the special right now, it's $130, and that's all in and all the blood testing. You don't have to pay the lab any more money. You don't have insurance. That will cover all your blood tests.
There we go, guys. We did it. We hogged this man up for an hour and 10 minutes. I thank you I thank you, kid, for taking time today.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And we really did come up with some cool stuff, not just for those watching, but those guys that are jumping into the 30-day blitz. I'm excited for everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, Serge.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for coming today,
It was
man.
a lot of fun, actually.
You like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I think it's very good to kind of get a perspective because the younger audience is the future, and if they're not taking the time to take their health seriously, then what's going to be left?
Right.
So
Right.
Well, thank you, Bradley Martin. We appreciate you being here today. Actually, he's a better
Yeah,
looking
I
man.
like
He's
it, I like it.
a Spanish with green eyes, man. How do you go wrong with that good-looking face? Jeffrey is always thick as a house, deadlifting 330, huh?
330.
Wow,
times.
you're lame.
I think
Holy cow.
330.
Holy sheesh.
I've never deadlifted 330.
Wow.
I'm gonna get word for this one,
I
Jeff.
skipped it.
I can verify he skipped that. Hardcore
Yeah.
parkour to 600 deadlift, man. So,
Oh my God.
Johnny, thanks, brother.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
I appreciate it, Serge,
Thank
Jeff, Big Mike. Love you, brother, and I'll talk to you later, man.
Thanks, kiddo.
Appreciate you.
Serge coming up with some good info. Jeffrey coming up with some good info. That was cool.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dude, 130 is so cheap for blood work.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think people understand because I went to some websites years ago to look at blood work, and a full panel that
It's a
I
full
doubt was
panel.
as in depth as what he described was $450.
It's a
And-
panel
Yeah.
you can't even get with your insurance. You can't go to your insurance company to a regular
Yeah, they
hospital
won't.
and get this. So even
Why
then,
do you
it's
need
like
that?
exactly, yeah, they question you, and then so you're getting a full panel for like a third of a price of what you found on the internet.
And then this, I can't see your name right here, but
I like that they said that, though.
Yeah.
well, because it gives good
It's
good
true.
insight to
It's true, yeah.
why a lot of people don't want to do things. Some are
I
afraid
understand
of
that.
the result. This person's lazy.
Yeah,
It's not, I hate doing anything that,
Yeah.
that takes me out of the house, honestly. If I can cuddle with my dog and hang with Mo at the house, I'm good. But it's so easy,
Yeah.
even for me to get out and go to that. Did
That
Mo
was the
laugh?
hardest part.
yeah.
Did you just laugh at that?
Getting you out was the hardest
The
part.
hardest part is getting me out of the house, guys.
15 minutes.
I'll go to the gym, but
Yeah.
not much else. And so, yeah, what is it? 15, 20 minutes. We were
15,
out
20 minutes
there.
and 10 of those minutes were driving and waiting.
Yeah.
So
It's the whole like laziness of like if it
Easy.
ain't broke, why would I want to fix it? So it's like,
What's this
just
one
gotta
here?
get in
where we at? Don't forget band work, my brothers. Good for blood flow. Band work, like using resistance.
there.
Resistance bands and shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you like band work,
Yeah, that's fine.
I see a lot of people using it and doing it. I see Titan. I'm having Titan do it, but it's more for judo. Some pulls and stuff like that. That quick explosion. For me, I get blood flow on 2 occasions. So the working out and the other
Yeah.
is
Gas station pills.
gas station pills, right? Oh.
Hey, hey,
Oh.
that Hercules potion might be a good
That
one
might,
to
yeah,
try.
right? The nitrogen.
I just inject it wherever I want. I'm good.
How much is Bubba ordering right now?
I don't think he knows how to use that.
Oh man.
It's awesome.
I'm just looking over those questions. Guys, thanks for hanging. We'll do a little touch up on the ebook for you guys. I love it. Thanks again for hanging today. I got to eat.
Nope.
There it
Time.
is.